I can move this over.
Okay.
Because I already drew this and I know where the errors that I have to fix.
I see.
So what I want to do is, do you see the shape? I think the best thing to start with is a long, like, you see what I mean? Like you're either here, shooting this way, or you're up on the chair, shooting this way. Because then we see what it is we're trying to capture here is the shape. Okay? So when you're ready, I'm going to just start talking about it.
Yeah, I am recording already.
Okay, very good. So what we see here is a batten, which is a long strip of wood made out of some very good fur so that it doesn't distort. And this batten is taking one of the shapes, one of the slices, the slice of a plane that's running through the boat. And if I were to come over to this dory over here, what we're looking at, it'd be like if I was taking a slice through the boat, not at the center line, but out this direction, a plane, we have to imagine a plane slicing parallel through the center line, all the way through the boat, and going and exiting at the transom and exiting somewhere on the bow. And that's what this line is that we're seeing. So we're seeing what's called the quarter beam buttock line, and the quarter beam buttock is approximately at a quarter of the beam out. And again, if I use this straight edge and I come over to this hull, we could see that there's the center line and the buttock lines are parallel to the center line, and they slice all the way through the boat. But from the side, from this side, these slices will be curved just as we see what this one looks like. The quarter beam buttock is very important because it tells us about the speed of the boat. And this is a beautiful line from the Dolphin, which we still have not pinpointed who is the designer, but whoever it is, they had a very good sense about the shapes and the speed of the vessel. It's a very elegant little boat, and these battens help us to see the simplicity and the sophistication that this designer had and used in drawing this boat. So this is the first line we're looking at today, is the quarter beam buttock line. And now we're going to move on to...
And this quarter beam buttock line is also here on the
Yes.
drafting?
Yes, so just as if we were to look at the dory again for a second over here, we see that the line passes through shapes that are the molds, and that's called the body plan on the lofting. So on the lofting, we see lines, and those lines represent the shapes of slices, just like these slices later become the wooden patterns or molds that allow us to actually build the boat. But in order to go from the drawing to the lofting, is what this panel is the lofting of this boat, we are trying to ferret out, meaning to perfect its shape, then to create the individual molds, and it's from positioning them exactly the same as they are on the lofting, making them strong enough, we can then plank the boat and frame the boat, etc. So that's the body plan. And this quarter beam buttock is passing through 18 inches out. Here's the center line, 6, 12, 18 inches out is where it is passing through the transom, down at that end, to each of the stations going all the way to the middle and then coming all the way forward. The forwardmost station is station 2, for example. Right here, we see it's at about this height. We come down to station 2, which is right here, and we see that that's where it's crossing station 2.
So this is the height.
Yeah. So what we see is here's the height of this buttock line at station 2. Which buttock line? Well, in this view, we see the center line, 6 inches, 12 inches, 18 inches. This is the buttock line looking down at the shear line, at the load water line, we see that they cross this buttock line. This one crosses here, as you can see, and this one exits here. So we can see the point that it's crossing the buttock line, and therefore we know that's where it's exiting. That's where this guy's exiting. If we come down over here and we find our load water line is this one, and we see that it's crossing here because we see that that buttock line, 18 buttock line, is slicing here. Where it crosses the load water line, we must keep that exactly in the same relationship. So lofting the boat allows us to look at several views of the boat shape. And those several views, they have to be reconciled and they have to agree with each other.
Right.
So if we were to look again at this boat over here, we can imagine for a moment that it's on a skewer and it could be rotated. And if we were looking at it from this point of view, we'd be seeing these lines, including the buttock lines or the center line. If we turn the boat over, basically we would see this. We would see the load water line. We would see other shapes.
Okay.
We would be picking up those shapes at different intervals. If I was picking up this shape right here, it would look like that. You see?
Right.
So these shapes, they're different slices, different planes, slicing through the boat at different positions.
Right.
And they're faired, meaning they're made beautiful by using very high quality fir or pine, some kind of conifer usually for a long batten that can be used to get these shapes and establish them. Okay? So we're done now having described the first of 3 buttock lines. This is called the quarter beam buttock line. It is the one furthest out from the center line. And it gives us a shape that allows us to verify the speed and the performance of the boat.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to take a leak